Today on Heinz Barbecue, we are going to start disassembling this trailer. So, been waiting to do this thing for a minute. We got it up on jack stands. We got the wheels and tires off of it. And a lot of this video is just gonna be me tearing this thing apart and just music overlaying it. What we're gonna do, the basic rundown on this thing is, we're gonna take and cut this front half off. We'll take it off because it's got its own stuff that needs to be fixed on the tongue. There's a lot of rust under these axles, so we're gonna blow this thing completely apart because the frame is not wide enough. So we're gonna have to widen the frame on the trailer itself because these axles are 72 inches from the welds on the bottom of them, the plates where the springs go on. So this whole thing's got to be widened up about 4.5 inches. I'd like to give you a close up here of what we're looking at, how they did this. So you can see right here, there's another piece of angle right here that's bolted to this frame. And then you can see all this rust in here. And I mean, this stuff is just, it's completely rotted out the bottom of the frame rail. And then you can kind of see how they they missed their mount there and they oversprung these instead of undersprung them. That's a problem. We got to fix that. And these kind of fender setup here was just kind of bolted to the outside of the frame rail of the trailer, and they bolted the fenders, and maybe at some point this came in a kit, I don't know. So we're gonna have to take this whole thing apart, get to all the rust under here, and start doing some pretty heavy work under there, which is not the easiest thing in the world. So a lot of this video is just going to be me cutting. You'll get to see a lot of the stuff. I might briefly stop and talk a little bit about what we're doing, but a lot of it's just going to be me cutting this thing up. We got a cutting torch lended to us by a friend, which is super awesome. Just going to make this a lot easier. So kick back and enjoy the fun. So that wasn't horribly bad, but now you can see how much rust is in there. Quite a bit. But literally all that was holding that thing in is 3 bolts on each side, and then we just completely dropped the axles out of it. So yeah, look at all that rust. That's terrible, man. The thing is almost completely rusted out. Oh. So yeah, happy that part's done. Get those axles pulled out of there. Start on with the next part. All right, so the torch works pretty good, but I really love this saw. And I love cutting through metal with it because it's quick. It's just not that quiet, and I like the torch for the evenings. People are trying to do stuff, but I gotta get this done. So we're gonna see if it'll cut through this. Sure it will, because I know it cuts through 4 inch.
die.
Grateful that it's done. So in one, I don't know, it took me about 2 hours to completely disassemble that thing. So now all we got to do is order new parts, flip the frame rails upside down, take the wire wheel to everything, get all the pits and everything out of it. I'm probably going to run POR 15 back on this frame. I've used it before when I used to work in hot rod shops, and the stuff works really good. It's just kind of expensive for like a little can and stuff of it, like this big. It's like 60 bucks. So we'll see. Another trick is to just use like 1500 degree paint. That stuff will work with etching primer, which is something I've used before, and it's held up really well. Got some other trailers that are really old back on the farm, and those things have held up really well. So I don't know, we'll see. I think we're gonna turn in for tonight and start fresh on this thing tomorrow. So all right, so we got our jack stand set up. I got some little pieces of metal on top of these guys. I've got a weld in place, so we've got a flat place for the frame to sit at. Show you what I mean. So as you can see right here, I got a little flat piece of just flat stock sitting on top of there. I need that frame rail to sit flat on top of this, so that way we've got a good flat surface, so we don't have any, you know, it needs to be parallel and perpendicular. So we'll do the same thing back here on these guys. So I've ground out some spots of paint. We have these big flat pieces right here. We're gonna set these in here like so. We'll weld these in, and then we'll be able to clamp the frame with a C-clamp, so that way it sets up straight and we're parallel and perpendicular. So that's the thought anyway. We'll see what happens. Let's get these guys welded up. So as you can see, we got them on the stands. We've got these frame rails flipped over because we got to get all this rust off of here. And you can see how bad it was where they had that bolt-on axle contraption at. And I mean, this stuff is bad. Like, it hasn't really done much. This is all chunks of that other frame over there that we took off for the axles. But there's a lot of surface rust on here that's got to come off. We're gonna hit this with some etching primer, get all this stuff back down to some good metal, and just double check to make sure that we got enough in the frame in here. We got enough good metal to use. If not, we're gonna have to cut some of this out and kind of patch it in. So you can kind of see just where all that old metal was sitting at, where they had that frame patch on there. So, but yep, there it is. Setting on the stands, a little darker over there on that one. This frame's not as bad. No, I'm not gonna say not as bad, but it's still bad-ish. Same stuff. I'm gonna grind all this stuff off. So there we go. Got them on stands, so super happy about that. Just to get some more stuff done with this. Been pushing on this thing now for 3 days, 2 days, I don't know, I forget. But it's getting kind of late, it's dark. Probably like 9:30, something like that. So Lauren's working night shift, so it gives me a chance to get some stuff done. So yeah, get this thing stripped down. A lot of grinding and stuff to do on it to get it down to some good paint. We're gonna put etching primer on it, and then we got some 500-degree engine paint we'll put over top of it that's an enamel. And we gotta order some steel for the center. We'll start building this thing out. So until next time. All right, so it is the following week. We had to take a little break, get some other stuff done, but what we did do was find out some unfortunate stuff. Let's take a look. So this here is one of the old frame rails that I ended up putting etching primer on, and I was like, oh, maybe we can save this. And on top of this is some 5-inch C-channel that's brand new from the steel shop. As you can see, some beautiful C-channel. These pieces right here are 12 foot long, and then we've got 72-inch long pieces here, 5 foot long pieces here. And pretty much what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna build a brand new frame out of C-channel. Mainly because I don't trust that old boat frame. It was so rusted I could take a punch and literally just punch holes through it. And putting this smoker on it and a direct cooker on it and firewood on it, I just don't trust it. So this stuff right here, I think at an 8-foot span is rated at almost 1,800 pounds. So this right here will definitely be good enough for what we're doing. So now we just got to lay everything out. Pretty much stuff was laid out before. We got some different stands from some friends at work, so super happy to have those. They've made life a lot easier. So yeah, so now it's time to just start throwing stuff together, getting measurements right, getting everything laid off and square and plumb, make sure it's all ready to go. So you guys kick back and check it out.